Welcome to Trading Lounge and the US indices for Tuesday, October the 18th, and it does appear that we are becoming bullish, and that means that with the S&P here, we will need to bring wave 5 in over here for this, and then wave 1 here, and look at this as the A wave here, as we talked about yesterday in this particular count, and then look for wave 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5 in this particular area here for that. So that would pull us back into the 50-60% retracement area here. So we'll just manage that along the way. Just sort of thinking about this a little bit. I mean, this A wave top here hasn't been taken out, but when we look at stocks like Microsoft, and there's been others as well, this A wave here has been topped out here. So we need to look at it as the A, the B, and the 1 and 2, and building to the building to the upside for wave C. That seems to be the valid count. So even though the S&P hasn't taken out this top here, there are stocks that have done just that. So so we'll need to look at that a bit more closely. And yeah, so the other thing that I just wanted to talk about, coming back up to wave 2 here, is probably not the case, but it is the case in some markets. So I want to talk about that a little bit, just in the bigger picture here. So first of all, as we've talked about this before, having an A wave here, a B wave here, and a C wave here seems logical, and then we would be in a bullish market from that point. But there's stocks like, if I can just bring Goldman's over here, there's stocks like Goldman's that haven't taken out this low here, and then this move up here is corrective. A bit hard to see being corrective there, but on Bank of America here, you can see that it's like the move up from that low is corrective. But what I wanted to point out here, so first of all, yeah, that situation of a wave C being in here as an A and a B seems logical, and it's possible, plausible, but I don't think it's probable at this particular stage. The other thing that I wanted to talk about, to just bring the bank back here, is that there is a good case in all of the markets, really, to look at the move down that we've just experienced in an A and a B and a C wave down here in terms of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here, rather than trying to squeeze 5 waves out of it. And that's the same for most of the stocks, actually, I have to say. And in that case, then we would look up here for 5 waves back up here. So an A wave, a B wave, and a C wave with a bigger move up here, then down for 1 and 2 here, and then 3 coming down, that type of thing. So this is really kind of interesting, because we've talked about this count before with this market, but it's more so that the Asian and the European markets are showing this particular count, and because the US markets based on the tech stocks were being hammered to the downside, like Microsoft, so yeah, Asian stocks are doing this. European stocks have got this sort of thing happening a little bit. So do we have that here? So on the weekly chart, I'm just shooting the breeze, really, so on the weekly chart here, we're looking for the A wave, the B wave, down for 1, back for 2 here, and an A, B, C, back for 2, and then down for 3, 4, 5. So that's all cool. Like I said, putting the C wave here makes this here, I suppose that, to me, it's a little bit small compared to all of this. We talked about that in the sectors the other day, but what I wanted to talk about here was just removing that here for a moment, and this here. First of all, we're looking for a move to go up to here somewhere and then come down. So we still need to validate a move going up here, first of all, as well. But what about if that, what I talked about with the banks is here as well? So this is just overshot just down here, because it is possible to get a, an A and a B and a C wave here as well, and then look at the B wave, C wave coming up here. So I'm just putting it forward now because if this is going to start, then we just need a few options to look at, and this is one that the banks have got. Berkshire Hathaway can have a look at, has got the same. You can have a look at that, today's stock video on that. And like I say, the European markets are also in this particular pattern to a point. So it's a pretty common pattern. It's not like out of left field at all. Okay, so anyway, we'll I just needed to mention that. So just coming back to the daily chart here. So first of all, we still need to confirm the move up through here, even though that Microsoft and a few others have, and Facebook, Meta platforms has taken the top out here. There was sort of a handful of them. So we can expect this to do the same. And the current move up here, which we'll look at in detail, also seems to be impulsive as well. But is it possible to look at this as the A wave to here, the B wave to here, and the C wave to here, and then come down from that point as a three-wave counter trend in this bearish market? So we need to take that on board as well, and we'll need to come up with a strategy to be safe, but to also catch this third wave up here if that's going to be the case. So based on that, let's go to the intraday and start pulling this apart a little bit. So on the 50k tick chart here, so we're talking about this move here yesterday as well as the bearish count. We're giving them the equal weight. So in this case here, looking at 5 waves down for for wave 1, an A wave and a B wave, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here for the C wave. That's basically what we're looking at. As I just mentioned, this move up here will be in 5 waves, so we just need to be careful that this doesn't become an A, B, C to this point and then drop from there. So we're going to come up with a little bit of a strategy for that, and let's move in. I can't remember what I've updated, what I haven't. I'm running a bit late today. I think we looked at, that's what we had yesterday for that, wasn't it? That can actually go over to that point there. Yeah, so basically I'm just going to borrow these here. So we're looking for 1 here. I'll just keep updating this, and a pullback for 2 here. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4 here, going up 5. Obviously when it hits the top here, it's going to pull back, isn't it? You know, so that's what we're going to be talking about. Let's just continue to cruise in through my charts. Okay, so this is where I've got it drawn out here a little bit. So first of all, you know, we need to call this the A wave and the B wave here. We do need to take out that top there. So I'm just assuming that we will, but we just need to be mindful of everything, of course. So, you know, if we took this particular move to here, for example, this is a 61.8% here, we wouldn't turn bearish unless this level here became the resistance. Then we can look at being bearish from that point. Okay, so in the meantime, while the market's above this level, we would need to look to the upside. So at this stage, it's also possible for this market to, if that was a top here, which I don't think it is, we need to go a bit further up, it can pull back, and pulling back to the 3650 would just be natural at this point, you know, as it's done here before. It's you know, fluffed around in here and you know, really checked on that particular point, couldn't hold in there. We're also in group 2 as well, so after 5 we've got 35, after 5 is 8, so that's our next number to the upside. When we talk about 8, we talk about group 2, which is the 65, 3650 here, and 3720. Well, I mean, I go 3720 and 2.5 really, but 37 is obviously the, you know, the psychological thing here, but yeah, that's there. So yeah, we're moving up here. We need to understand this little move here, and then we can move along from that point. Let me just check what we've got on the next, on the 1K. Oh, this is where we were yesterday, talking about being long and stuff. So Yeah, so I'm going to remove that, and we need to push this over here now, and we need to push this over here, and I'll borrow these dudes. So this will be here, here, and here, and I think this is 1 and 2 here. So we still need to move up. So what we can do is that we'll just take it from this high and this current low here, and we'll look at this upside down. That doesn't matter. We'll take that 38.2 as the 61.8%, just it's in reverse. So that's where it can come back to here. So like I mentioned before, that 36.50 is a really nice floor for, you know, it may not even come back that far. We'll see. And yeah, how did the volume end up in this market? Let me just check. So got the SPX, let's just check on that. Not a lot of volume there. What about these E-minis? That's still on low volume. This platform, this trading view, seems to add the volume later on, so you've got to be a bit careful about it. What about the SPY? Give me some volume. It's not there. Still not getting that volume there. What about the RSPC here? This is the Invesco S&P equal weighted. It's giving each stock equal weight in the market. Still not a lot of volume here, but I'm just going to go to the stock market for a moment, because that's US stocks. Apple here, not a lot added, just still up on lower volume, but that's okay because it's wave one. Okay, Meta was up strong, so it's good volume on there. Just Google was up, so that's good volume. Part of that was selling off there. It's the S&P. This is old Bertie's here, Berkshire Hathaway, just checking stuff. Procter and Gamble, Tesla. Yeah, so not excessive volume to the upside, you know. We better check on Amazon. Amazon's on lower volume, so we need to be a bit careful to move up. You know, this move up here, right? This move here, for example, that's excellent because it's up and it's on higher volume. This one is down, but it's on lower volume than the previous bar, so that means all corrections on lower volume. So that means that's corrective, but it's also saying this is corrective as well. But I'm looking at this being wave one to the upside, and wave one can be like that, and that's why wave two, when it comes in, is normally quite sharp and swift, because wave one is kind of a little bit on hot air. So anyway, nothing sort of there. So back here, let me just check the SPY here. The SPY's done it a little bit differently, the SPY here. It hasn't taken out the top, so we still need to be careful about that. We're still at risk until that top is taken out. There's a bit of a gap here in all of this, so we just have to assume that that's basically wave 1 and 2 here, a bit different from the other markets, and this is starting off again here as 1 and 2. I can't put wave 1 and 2 over here, it just wouldn't look right at this point. But still, that could be over here too. If that's looking for wave 2, that can be, just check on that. Does look like that's 5 waves, that's 5 waves. Not very good 5 waves, but it has made a new low. So all of this could be a B wave, so it could be, in terms of catching up with the S&P, it could do something like that. So just be a bit mindful of that. But for this to be, this whole count that I'm talking about here, it's only valid if that top gets taken out. Remember that. That's important, because this could be some sort of, you know, down for one here, little A and B and C here, and not take the top out and then roll over down here. So I don't think it's the case, but I just, you know, we have to move forward step by step based on evidence, and that's a little bit crucial. So nothing really to tell us from the SPY side of things. We are seeing the US dollar pullback, which is good. So this is on 1,000 ticks. So yeah, so I'm thinking in the off session here, we've got this as, well, let's just go to the 100 ticks here. That will give us a bit more detail as well here for that. Let's bring in some. Okay, so okay, that's all good. Just thinking here a bit. So yeah, so that top's got to be taken out. Here we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for 1 and 2, and then 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 for the third wave. I'm thinking this is 1 and 2 just to this point here. This is probably 1 and 2 again. I haven't really got in there and had us 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we could look at that as the next little move up here. That would be wave 2 in here for that, and wave 3 would be up here for that. Just picking out the top here, and 4 and 5 up here for that, 4, 5, and that would also just be wave 3. So a lot of this will just happen in the Asian session, and then we'll have 5 up here. So that will be 5 of 5 here to make 1. And this one here is 1, 2 here, and it's not through, so it's not finished yet, this here. So we've got a bit more. It'll be all around the 37, 20 to 30. So that will happen in the Asian session, and a bit on the European session. And then this ABC pattern here is coming back into that 36.50 is the one here. So when this comes back down here, it'll be some sort of something like this. I mean, this will all be support through here. So this line here, right in the center of all of that, that's going to be critical there. That's what is that number, 36.80. So that's really where the support is. So just, you know, this wave 2 may only come back down into that space, you know, or it may be that wave A takes its bounce from that point, you know. We'll see. You'll need to see how that just sort of plays out. But the safe trade within all of this is going long above the B wave here, because what that does, as an example, if we put wave A here and wave B here, then even in a smaller thing, that technically that wave C there, you know, there could be another count. That's where it could fail, and the whole thing could, you know, just come down from that point. So finding that wave B here, that's the safe trade at that point. Okay, so obviously you can do whatever you need to do, but yeah, that's where that is. So we don't need that. We don't need that. Don't need these little dudes. So that's the gist of it all, really, at this point. You know, is it possible to call this wave 1 here for that other move that I mentioned to the upside? Possibly right, you know. So we could be looking at a larger 5 waves up. Maybe Larry Williams was right and I was wrong. Would be the first time I'm wrong, but yeah. So let's just see how that goes. So look, we've moved along from yesterday. At least we know now that we're possibly on the bullish side. To take that top out is step 1, which it looks like we're going to do that because this is a really nice impulse wave here. But that still leaves us an A and a B and a C at that point. So we need to move past that. So the safe trade is taking the B wave out up here. I mean, going long here is fine, but you'll need to get out up here somewhere. Holding it through all of that is sort of pointless, really, you know. So yeah, and this leg up here, that will be wave 3, which will be longer, should be longer than wave 1. If it's not longer than, if wave 3 is not longer than wave 1, then alarm bells will be ringing at that point. Then we'll know that if wave 3 is shorter, then wave 5 needs to be shorter than wave 3, and then that wave C will be up here for sure at that point. So yeah, that's sort of where we are with the S&P, and all the other markets will be the same. So we'll quickly go through them. I haven't addressed most of them up from yesterday. We're looking at 2 counts here. I don't know if anybody went long in any of these things here yesterday. That would probably talking about a bit. I can't remember what we said, but I'll just clear those out. It'll be the same here as well. We've got the A wave. We don't need that now. It looks like we're going to be taking that top out, so that's all good. Don't need that. Don't need any of these little guys. Thank you very much. Thanks for coming. And that's there. We won't need any of these, but I'll clean that up later. So basically we've got the same 5 waves structure coming into play here. 1 and 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, the third wave, 1 and 2, 1, 2, 3. So we're going to be pushing up here, and then we'll come back. Wednesday will be a bit of a swing day in the markets. And obviously the 11,000 here is going to be that nice support on that pullback at that point. Okay, so that's where we are. So and the other markets, so the Russell, we also talked about going long in the Russell and all sorts. So I don't think that one, we didn't talk about going long at that point. But we would have talked going long and short here, so maybe I'll just leave those. But we can talk about, yeah, we talk about going long here. So I remember this one, so we better, if you want to go for the journey, we'll keep the stop out of the way. If you don't want to go for the journey, then you'll need to exit around these highs up here somewhere. Okay, 5, and then of course the ABC pattern here. I mean, it takes courage to make money, to stay in the market, you know. I mean, the only way I find that you can really do it is by trading less. So it doesn't really matter. It doesn't bother you too much. It doesn't matter. But the trouble with trading less is that it just doesn't do it for you, you know. It doesn't give you the thrill. So we all tend to sort of overtrade a bit, you know, and that gets us into trouble. And we don't have set risk parameters either in all of that. You know exactly how much you're prepared to lose on that bet. I just need less objects on the chart, so I'm just going to clean this mess up here. They've all done their job basically, so that's good. We can put that in over here and here and here, and that will be wave 2 over here. We'll still need a wave 1 at that point. We can look at this as the A wave. We also, I'm going to put wave 1 here as well, because we'll need to just consider that for a moment. I mean, you don't, if you know, this trend here, if you want to catch this third wave here, I mean, we'll do a pretty good job of getting back in here, of course, but the thing is that it's probably good practice. So if you've got 2 or 3 contracts in here, maybe just leave one in there so you get to know what it feels like, you know, so you can get, you know, become used to these things. And the whole thing could fail, but it's all your fault. You were the only one doing it. It's tricky business, isn't it, to do or not to do. Okay, so that's the Russell. So what you'll need to do here is, you know, get a starting point, find that top, wherever that is here, and then find that 50-60% retracement level. Once you've got that there, then you'll also need to say to yourself, well, you know, where's all the volume? What's the biggest price? You know that, you know, that 72 is important, and you know that the 30 is important. So that's probably about, you know, it probably won't pull all the way back to this point. You know, it'll be settling in across this block here. That's the block here. That's for some reason, that whatever the reason is, that's the support there for that, you know. So you got to kind of find that, know that, and find it in the price, and just keep an eye on it and that sort of thing. Rightio, and the DJ. So we talked about this in a couple of different ways, and we talked about having a small trade in on the long side just here for whatever reasons, because we could count it as an ABC perhaps or something. But going to remove all my mistakes here in front of you, so they could still leave that there, I guess, but don't need that. And we'll still look at this as like the other markets, as wave one coming up here. Maybe you went long here with all of that, maybe you're in there, maybe you're not, but what we'll need to do is you can either get out up here further, or we'll put this stop in here. That 30,000 is going to be a nice door stop there for everything, but we may need to adjust that. I'll just leave the stop there as a thing, but this will be, that's 3, 4 and 5 coming up here if we got any little green soldiers here. So that will be, just assuming it's going to be the same as the others here. So that stop is probably a little bit close. If you're going to stay in the game here, then you'll need to take profit, or take a percentage at that point. At the levels here will be 30,500. That's the number that you want to be trading to. That's where you want to be taking some money off the table. If you want to get through, you know, wave 2 here in that sense, you know. So that will be the A wave, the B wave, and the C wave coming back into here. Alrighty, I'm running late, so I'm just going to leave everything like that for the time being. Yeah, alrighty. Got one more there. I don't know what. I'll have to put that over here. Put that over there. Don't need that, or that. Do the trick. Alrighty, thanks for tuning in, and perhaps tomorrow we'll be sort of in this area over here for this. We'll be in another situation, do you know what I mean? And we can look to move up. If you're not long, you know, if you're going to go long here, if you're going to go long here now and you don't have this position here to back you up, you don't have that profit there to back you up, then you will need to get out at the 500, because that's where the dance will take place. Alrighty, cheers.